Hey there, I'm student meteorologist Monique Martinez with your Tuesday edition of FSU weather. We have lots of clouds in the sky over Doak Campbell, mostly cloudy, 82 degrees with some southwest winds coming in at 8 miles per hour. Now across the Big Bend, we are sitting pretty comfortably, 82 in Tallahassee, 81 in Quincy, 78 in Bainbridge, and 86 in Valdosta currently. Now we have quite a few weather makers happening right now across the Big Bend. We still have this low pressure system off of the Gulf that we're tracking, bringing lots of heavy rainfall and possible localized flooding. But for today's show, we'll talk about the severe weather that we're seeing in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. We will also talk about the flood risk for the Gulf Coast, as well as the latest on Hurricane Darby. All that and more on FSU weather. And welcome back into this Tuesday edition of FSU weather. Again, we're 82, mostly cloudy at Doak Campbell right now with some south winds coming in at 8 miles per hour. For our temperature almanac, we are currently at 87, which is below average for our high, and we are above our average for our low at 75 degrees. Now currently across the Big Bend, we are sitting very comfortably, considerably speaking, at 82 in Tallahassee, 82 as well in Crawfordsville, and 81 in Perry. Now we are quite moist across the region with dew points relatively close to our temperature values. Currently our dew point is at 75 in Tallahassee, 77 in Perry, and 75 as well in Donaldsonville. We are also very, very warm for our feels like temperatures across the Big Bend. We're currently feeling like 89 in Tallahassee, 95 in Valdosta, and a little cooler by the coast at 88 in Apalachicola. Now, if we take a look at our radar, we see that we have lots of activity happening off of the Gulf because of this low-level disturbance that we have that we're tracking. Now, that disturbance is at a low expected development rate right now for the next 5 days. However, that is still bringing lots of active rainfall and localized flash flooding. So if you are driving in the area, be sure to exercise caution because you will possibly see those floodwaters while you're driving. Now we have lots of onshore moisture coming in and winds coming in from the Gulf, bringing in a gusty 8 miles per hour in Tallahassee. Now for tonight into the overnight hours, we'll cool down to a nice 76 in Tallahassee, 80 in St. Mark's, and 77 as well in St. Perry. Now for your running forecast for tomorrow, if you want to get out tomorrow, we will start at 7 a.m. at 75 degrees, 86 around the lunchtime hour, and 82 at 8 p.m. Now, as we move into the next few days, we will see those storms push through and dissipate a little bit, but then we'll see those low-level clouds come back and we'll see some possible storm activity progress again in the next few days. Now, heading into tomorrow, we will stay at the same 87 degrees in Tallahassee, but we will be stormy and we will see those stormy conditions across the Big Bend. Now, for your 7-day, we have relatively high rain chances, 60% chance of rain on Wednesday, and those rain chances will increase all the way until Friday at 80%, and they will dissipate, taper off a little bit over the weekend with a 60% chance of rain, and we will see those conditions more or less stay with those conditions, those high conditions being in the low 80s to mid 90s and those lows being in the 70s. Now we're going to take a look at the southeast. It's looking quite good across the southeast right now. Very beautiful in Charleston, South Carolina at 87 degrees. New Orleans, 84 degrees, a little cloudy. Daytona Beach have some beautiful clouds in the sky at 87 degrees. And Nashville is quite warm at 93 degrees. Now currently across the southeast, we're seeing conditions in the low to mid 80s, 88 in Montgomery, 82 in Tallahassee, a little warmer in South Florida and Central Florida, 94 in Orlando, and 90 in Miami. Now we're seeing that moisture in the air as well as far as our dew points because we have that stationary front really hovering over the southeast, and we are seeing those rain chances increase as well as that moisture in the air. Currently our dew points are at 75 in Tallahassee, 75 in Tampa as well. So as I mentioned, we're seeing lots of moisture in the air. Now we are currently feeling like a very warm 102 in Tampa, a warm 101 in Jacksonville and Orlando as well, and we are also quite warm if we move towards the west of the southeast at Little Rock and Memphis, both feeling like 107 degrees. Now, if we look at our southeast radar, we can see this low pressure disturbance really just hovering here off of the Gulf, bringing lots of rain and moisture into the area. But we also have this frontal system really hovering over the southeast, and that is bringing active rain as well. So if we look at our mid-level relative humidity range, we see that we are very moist. However, these lines of showers and storms are just possibly just hovering and making its way over this area, and it's very textbook because right here we see that those winds are shifting along those frontal boundaries and those showers are progressing as well. Now, as we head into the overnight hours, we'll be at 76 in Tallahassee, 74 in Montgomery, 83 in Tampa, and 82 in Miami. And if we head until tomorrow, we will see those storm chances increase. Actually, I'm sorry, they will continue and persist across the next couple of days, and then we will see those storm chances really make their way through the region until about the weekend. Now, for today's Spotlight City, we're going to talk about my hometown of Atlanta, Georgia. It's currently 86 degrees, mostly cloudy, with some southerly winds coming in at 3 miles per hour. And if we take a look at the next 3 days, those rain chances are looking slightly better in Atlanta, with only a 20% chance of rain on Friday and a nice 89 degrees. Now, for tomorrow, we will be warm in Montgomery at 92 degrees, 87 in Tallahassee, and stormy conditions across Central and South Florida at 96 in Orlando and 93 in Tampa. But now, if we take a look at our national, we are going to pass it to Brandon to see what's going on across the nation.
Thank you, Wendy. Across the United States right now, we see temperatures that are skyrocketing in the central southern plains with 102 in Dallas, 103 in San Antonio. A little bit cooler as you go toward the northeast, where they're getting some rainfall right now with an active severe weather threat as well. 82 in Washington, D.C., and toward the west coast, 70 degrees in Los Angeles. And with some that more humidity contact in the southern central plains, we see heat indices reaching 105 in San Antonio. Some places could even see heat indices reach 108 before the end of the day today. And throughout the nation, we have some key features to look out for. We do have some severe weather threats, a marginal risk here in Minnesota and into Michigan behind that cold front. Another risk along this cold front coming up into the northeast. And then, of course, we have some monsoonal rains going toward the southwest are kicking off today under high pressure system near that surface frontal boundary. And, of course, the low pressure system that could be developing off of the coast of the Gulf Coast later today. We'll be talking about that in detail with the tropics. But for today, our outlook is going to be that severe weather threat is going to be centered along the northeastern mid-Atlantic states. A lot of rainfall, thunderstorms for the southeast, and we do have a heavy rain flood threat as well into the southwest with the monsoonal rains, and again another flood threat into the Gulf Coast. If we look at water vapor, we can see these boundaries pretty well today. Here, just below the Great Lakes, we do have that cold front. We have another stationary front near the southeast, excuse me, and plenty of moisture and thunderstorm activity off the coast in the Gulf of Mexico. And we go up in the atmosphere, we can see the big pattern at play right here. We do have that high pressure ridge right here over the Rockies, and we do have that Bermuda high, which I'll mention again a little bit later when we talk about the tropics. Over here near Bermuda, bringing in some of that southerly moisture and southerly flow into the Gulf of Mexico. And we do have a trough that is going to be digging its way in a couple of days. So let's take it through the next 72 hours. We can see that trough kind of dig in just a little bit toward the northeast, and that's going to bring some rain and thunderstorms toward the southeast region. But for right now, our active alerts, we do have some excessive heat advisories and warnings in places of Texas, Texarkana area. We do have that severe thunderstorm watch and some warnings near the northeast, and we do have a fire weather warning as we go into places such as Utah. But for today, the Storm Prediction Center is highlighting the northeast for an enhanced risk of severe weather, so that's 3 out of 5 on the scale. So our main threats today are going to be some very severe wind gusts from some of the stronger of the storms ahead of that front. So let's take you there right now to our radar, where we have that severe thunderstorm watch in the pink. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings in that yellow color, and we do have, a tornado warning in New Jersey right about here. So we do have a small chance for a spin-up tornado today, so those cannot be ruled out. So if you're all along in that area today, be on the lookout for that as well and stay weather aware. Going toward the mid-Atlantic states, kind of the same story with that kind of squally line kind of moving its way over. And heading toward the Gulf Coast, we do have that kind of spinach. Right here, you can see that nice clockwise kind of spin over the Florida Panhandle, bringing in lots of rain, so we do have a flood threat for the Gulf Coast. But for tomorrow, the storms are going to be centered again, once again, in the southeast, and we do have a marginal threat going back up into Montana, around the north side of the ridge. But to the overnight hours, temperatures will be quite mild across much of the area, coming into the 60s as we go into the Great Lakes, high Mississippi Valley region, and a little bit warmer and muggier and humid conditions as you go more south, 81 San Antonio and 85 in Dallas-Fort Worth. And tomorrow, temperatures will be right back up into those same places, 104 and 105 in places of Texas. A little bit cooler where we have a lot of rainfall and cloud cover as you go toward the eastern coast a little bit. And again, it's going to be pretty hot in southern Arizona as well. We can see temperatures reaching into the upper 90s, maybe possible 100s. But let's take a look right now and go into our tropics. We have something to talk about as we head toward the most active part of the season into August and into September. So let's start out in the Eastern Pacific, where we have a chance of a tropical development, an 80% chance over the next 5 days that the Hurricane Center is giving us for a cluster of thunderstorms just off of the South America, Central America coast over the waters. And we zoom in over to Hurricane Darby. So Hurricane Darby is right over open water, not causing any damage or anything to any land, but it is a Category 3 hurricane right now. And we can see on visible satellite, if once this loads in, hopefully, it has a pretty healthy structure and a good, robust convection around the center, around the eye. And that's not going to load in for me, unfortunately, but it is a healthy system as right now. But it will be decaying and dying off as we go into the end of the week. Category 3 right now with winds of 115 miles an hour, moving west at 17 miles an hour, and will be reaching toward the Hawaii Islands as possibly a tropical depression. So that could see an uptick in some rainfall, possibly, and maybe some bigger waves and surf. But closer to home, we're watching this area of investor over here off the coast of Louisiana and Mississippi. It's a 20% chance of development over the next 5 days. But regardless of development, it's going to be bringing some heavy rainfall and good flood risk for the coast, as it's centered between that Bermuda High and the Western Ridge. So it's just going to be kind of meandering as you go into the rest of the week, and it's not going to be moving too much. So it's going to be bringing a lot of rainfall for the Gulf Coast. And if it stays over water, it has a better chance of development, as we have very high sea surface temperatures up into 87, 85 near the coast. So if it stays over water, it's going to have a better chance of development. But regardless of development, heavy rains and flooding is possible. And the rest of the Atlantic Basin is pretty quiet right now, as we have a lot of Saharan dust, so not much activity toward the eastern side of the basin. But let's kick it back home with Monique to look at what's going on locally one last time today.
Thank you, Brandon. It's still gorgeous over Doak Campbell Stadium. A little cloudy as we are expecting those storms to roll in within the next couple of hours, but we are seeing that it's still quite beautiful with that sun peeking through. So currently we are at 82 degrees. We've cooled down a little bit since the start of our show. We are still mostly cloudy with some southwest winds coming in at 8 miles per hour. Now currently across the Big Bend, we are sitting at 82 in Tallahassee, 82 in Sumatra and Crawfordsville as well, and 80 in St. Mark's. Now the satellite and radar is showing these storm activities really make their way through and off of the Gulf, and we can see some possible lightning strikes and activity around Tallahassee. So if you are driving on the I-10 corridor, I would say exercise caution, because we could possibly see localized flash flooding. Now as we head into Wednesday evening, we will see those lines of storms move back in, and we have the southerly flow really bringing in that moisture that we're seeing in the next couple of days. Now heading into our evening forecast for tonight, we will be very mild, 82 degrees at 7 p.m. We will cool down to a nice 77 at 10 p.m. and we will reach 76 degrees at 12 a.m. And for your 7-day forecast, one last look at that, we are going to see that our rain chances are going to steadily increase until Friday, and they will taper off on the weekend. However, thank you so much for watching. Please follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook at FSU Weather. Also, if you are watching us now on YouTube, be sure to subscribe at FSU Weather. And please like us and follow us on Instagram as well at FSU Weather. One final look at your 7-day forecast. We are going to reach 90 degrees tomorrow on Wednesday with 60% chances of rain. We will have higher rain chances as well throughout the week, and we will see those rain chances really stay with us until Tuesday of next week. I'm Monique Martinez. Thank you so much for watching.